Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List. My name is Shane McAuliffe. You know, Texas is a hotspot for all sorts of things, including dinosaurs. Who knows what this place looked like all those years ago, but over in Seymour, they have a good idea what the creatures look like because they are finding them every single day. Seymour is known as the crossroads of north central Texas, thanks to it being halfway between DFW and Amarillo. But it also happens to be at the crossroads of time, because here, the past is part of who they are.
Seymour is world-renowned. Scientists from all over the world have been coming here since 1878 to pay homage to the world-class fossil beds right here in Seymour.
Christopher Fliss grew up in Midland, but today he's the director of the Whiteside Museum of Natural History, and he's also a paleontologist.
My dad's a geologist, so, as a kid, he would take me out to the middle of nowhere, and that's my fondest and earliest memories were just going out and picking up rocks. I just fell in love with it at an early age, and it stuck with me my entire life.
Chris has the best of both worlds here. He's able to run the museum and still does field work anytime he pleases.
The fossils here that are so famous for this area is what makes the area geologically and paleontologically special.
What makes Seymour so special is the fact that one of the most popular Permian species is found here.
If you go to a museum anywhere in the world and you see a Dimetrodon skeleton, it's a good chance that it came from right here in Seymour, Texas.
Dimetrodon fossils were first discovered here in 1878. It's a classic creature when it comes to talking about things that lived millions of years ago. Just don't call him the D word.
He's not a dinosaur.
No?
And so when we go to museums and we see Dimetrodon in the toys in the gift shop, it makes us really mad because they're not dinosaurs, but they're considered dinosaurs, faithfully. But they're 290 million years old, so they're 60 to 70 million years older than the very first dinosaurs. So dinosaurs that you would consider things that look like a dinosaur. T-Rex and Triceratops, Stegosaurus. Dimetrodon was not one of those guys. He walked on all fours, he looks like a lizard, he walks like an alligator. Very primitive. This is the very primitive form of an animal learning that land is a conquerable place, and so your body is built for walking on land. You're not upright, you don't look like a dinosaur. So the way your body is 290 million years ago essentially is the first trial for animals learning to dominate land.
So what do you call a Dimetrodon?
Classifying Dimetrodon is probably one of the most difficult things we can do. It's not a reptile, it's not a dinosaur, it's not a mammal. It's a mixture of those three things. So the technical term is non-mammalian synapsid. Try teaching a fourth grader, this is a non-mammalian synapsid.
Kids walk away from that conversation going, it's a dinosaur.
It has big sharp teeth and it has a sail, that's what they're gonna remember.
Yeah.
When the museum got here is the first time that, any of us in Seymour actually realized what was here in Seymour. So we didn't even realize that, these pristine fossils were right here in Seymour, Texas under our feet.
Mackenzie Donnell is a curatorial assistant, and the fossils they find out in the field, she gets to painstakingly carve the rock away from them.
This stuff is stuck. This stuff is not going anywhere. This is really, really tough sandstone, and it preserves the bone really, really well. So if you look at the skull right here, all of those pits right there are pristinely preserved, and you don't really see that on Seymour. Even when you go and look in the history books, you don't see pits that well developed. Just this right here has taken me about 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a tedious process. You can sit here for hours and not even realize it. It feels like you've been doing it for 5 minutes and you look up and it's been 3 hours.
I see why it'd be like therapeutic work. It's like putting together puzzles. Just
exactly, yeah.
Easy concentration.
Yeah, 270 million year old puzzles.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what it looked like when we found it in the field because it tells a story on how they were buried.
Holly Simon is the assistant director.
A lot of people ask us, why do you find so many fossils? It had to have been like a mass extinction thing, but it's simply just a healthy ecosystem. So if you look at Africa today, they have small watering holes and all of the animals congregate there and live and die and breed, and it's the same thing. It's just a giant watering hole where everybody is congregating and eating each other, because one important thing is we find babies too, so we know that there's a whole life cycle living at this bone bed.
This is Seymoria bailarensis. Its namesake is from Seymour. These guys are really, really weird critters. They're a gateway species, so they're not quite reptiles, but they're not quite amphibians. They have different characteristics of both. So this right here is the skull of one of them. Sure. Right here. So you've got eye sockets here, and then this is another skull right here. You've got eye sockets there, and eye sockets there. And so it's 3 different skeletons in here. all right there, and they're all facing the same way. So they actually died in a burrow, so that's why they're all facing the same direction.
Always blows my mind that we can find things from 200 million years ago.
And older, yeah. It's mind-blowing. That's exactly right.
Digging through dirt is what these three live for. Examining each and every pebble they pull out of the earth, looking for something that has been hidden for an amount of time you can't even fathom.
When you pick up that bone, you need to realize that you are the first human being in the history of human beings to find that bone. You're the first human being to ever see that Dimetrodon's bone. He's been waiting 290 million years, and you're the first one to actually touch him.
Holding history in your hand. All it takes is a little time playing in the Texas dirt.
When you get out there, you do feel like you are in a very special place, and you're, paying homage to some of the most important vertebrate animals on the planet, and this is where it happens in Seymour, Texas.
You still get that feeling being out there?
All the time. It never gets old. You don't age when you're a paleontologist, in a sense. You were always a kid digging in the dirt, but you become more in tune with the importance of what you're doing, both for science and research, as well as education, and inspiring the next generation of kids to realize that this planet is absolutely huge, and there's a lot of different things here that they can learn, and the science part of it is something that we love to see sparkle in their eyes when they come in here and see something like a dinosaur for the first time.
Well, thanks for watching this segment of the Texas Bucket List. To see more, be sure you subscribe to our channel, and to see full episodes, become a member. In the meantime, you can also shop our store at the Texas Bucket List Store and Studio.